Flood contracts. Veronica Wakefield was a stunning woman with icy blue eyes and razor-sharp, blood-red nails. Her office was like a museum of horrors, adorned with antique parchments and legal documents bound in human skin. She specialized in contracts, making deals with the desperate and the damned. She offered solutions to their problems, but at a steep price: their immortal soul. One day, a young man named Elias stumbled into her office, his face haggard and anxious. His life was on the line as he faced insurmountable gambling debts and the wrath of a ruthless loan shark. Desperate for a way out, he turned to Veronica for help. Seizing upon an opportunity, she offered him a seemingly simple solution: a blood contract. In exchange for signing away his soul, she would eliminate his immediate problems. Blindly driven by desperation, Elias agreed without truly understanding the consequences of his decision. The contract was sealed during a chilling ritualistic ceremony involving flickering candlelight and dark magic. As Elias signed his name in blood, an icy wave slithered through him, a chilling presence taking root in his very core. He had unwittingly sold his freedom for a false sense of security. Wakefield held up her end of the bargain, paying off Elias's debts and silencing the loan shark. But Elias's life quickly became a nightmare. Haunted by night terrors and plagued by a spectral figure that taunted him day and night, he lost everything: his job, his friends, even his sanity. Desperate for relief from this living hell, Elias sought aid from a priest known for his expertise in the occult. The priest's horror only deepened when he saw the contract signed with Wakefield's hand. He revealed the terrifying truth: Veronica Wakefield was no ordinary lawyer. She was a succubus, feeding off the souls of the damned. The priest offered a glimmer of hope, a chance to break free from Wakefield's grasp. But it would require a risky ceremonial cleansing, one that could potentially cost Elias his life. With nothing left to lose, Elias begrudgingly agreed to the ritual. A nightmarish ordeal would play out within the confines of a dimly lit church, a battle of good against evil. The air was thick with the smell of incense and fear as the priest invoked ancient powers, his voice shaking the very foundations of the building. As the ritual ended, Elias felt an overwhelming sense of dread wash over him. He knew this was no ordinary contract. It was a pact with the devil. An otherworldly light filled the room. The blood contract crackled and burned, dissolving into dust as Wakefield's spectral form shrieked in agony. Elias watched as the succubus vanished, leaving behind a faint echo of her chilling laughter. Elias emerged from the harrowing tribulation, his body covered in scars that would never fully heal. The haunting whispers and sinister presence of darkness lingered in his mind, tormenting him day and night. The memory of that fateful day in the Covenant, bearing his signature in bold red ink, served as a constant reminder of the dangers waiting to ensnare the unwary and devour their souls. From that moment forward, he vowed to always remember the valuable lesson learned: some deals are simply not worth making, no matter how desperate one's situation may seem. The Whispering Walls. Jasper Crow, a man of immense wealth and influence, sat behind his mahogany desk in a dimly lit office of a decaying mansion, his piercing gaze fixed on the young woman standing before him. Whispers of his dark reputation preceded him, sending shivers coursing her spine. Eleanor had come seeking his help in settling her grandfather's estate, but as she spoke, Crow remained silent, his sharp mind calculating every word and gesture. Crow specialized in handling wills and estates, a seemingly innocuous practice that masked a far more sinister reality. With cunning manipulation tactics and a keen understanding of legal loopholes, he enriched himself by stealing from the deceased. For Eleanor, this realization came too late. As Crow isolated her and whispered doubts about her family's intentions, she fell under his spell. Consumed by paranoia and fear, she became his pawn, signing away her inheritance and assisting him in his schemes. As the years went by and Crow grew richer, the mansion seemed to absorb the echoes of his countless betrayals. Whispers reverberated through its halls at night, and phantom hands moved objects in the darkness. But for those who knew the truth about Jasper Crow, it was no mystery. It was simply the house bearing witness to its master's true nature. As she crept through the mansion, Eleanor's heart raced, her mind consumed by guilt over her recent discovery. She stumbled upon a hidden room where stacks of incriminating documents revealed Crow's true nature, a master manipulator and thief who preyed on the vulnerable. She confronted Crow, and to her shock, his mask of charm and wealth shattered to reveal a cold, calculating predator. She handed over the evidence to the authorities, determined to bring him to justice. As the sound of Crow's handcuffs locking resounded through the once grand mansion, Eleanor burned with satisfaction. The deserted and decaying walls seemed to tremble, as if they too were aware of the dark secrets that had taken place within their confines. Each creak and murmur was a reminder of the lives destroyed by Jasper Crow. But for Eleanor, the crumbling estate represented more than just a past full of pain and suffering. It was a demonstration of her resilience and perseverance in the face of evil. She smiled triumphantly and walked away from the rundown mansion, satisfied that justice had been served at last. Law and Orderless. Ambrose Thorne was not a man who inspired trust. His shadowy figure loomed in the doorway of his law firm, a foreboding Victorian mansion on the edge of the city. The sardonic grin etched into his face promised nothing but trouble. He was notorious for defending the indefensible, often taking on cases for a questionable group of individuals, including murderers, mobsters, and other unsavory characters. With a talent for twisting the truth and manipulating evidence, he had never lost a case. Clara walked nervously into his office, her father's fate hanging in the balance. She had heard about Thorne's reputation and hoped he could help save her family from financial ruin. But as he delved into the details of her father's embezzlement charges, Clara began to realize she was dealing with a dangerous and unpredictable man. Thorne saw an opportunity to further his ambitions in this seemingly straightforward case. As he pulled strings behind the scenes and manipulated events in court, Clara's father became the perfect scapegoat for powerful figures involved in corruption. In her naivety, Clara had unleashed a monster by seeking Thorne's help. As the trial came to an end and Clara's father faced sentencing, she watched in horror as Thorne spun his web of deceit and secured a victory for himself. She had put her trust in him, only to be betrayed by his cunning ways. It was at that precise moment that she finally saw Ambrose Thorne for who he truly was, a cunning and manipulative individual with no concern for what was right or wrong. For months, Thorne had been the untouchable puppet master, pulling strings and shielding powerful figures from their scandals. But when he became too ambitious and unpredictable for their taste, they turned on him without hesitation. In a cruel twist of fate, Thorne was framed for a crime that he had helped cover up. As his world crumbled around him, Thorne found himself abandoned by those whom he thought were allies. In a bold act of retaliation, he revealed the secret plot, putting himself at risk in the process. The courtroom erupted into a war zone as Thorne prepared to face his former allies in a battle of morality. With his back against the wall, he fought with every ounce of strength, revealing the corrupt underbelly of the city and exposing his deceitful schemes. The judge's gavel slammed down, sealing Thorne's fate with finality. Darkness and chaos would be forever intertwined with his name, leaving a trail of destruction and shattered lives in his wake. As Thorne walked away, the haunting memory of his chilling smile lingered, a constant reminder of the devil's advocate that always danced on the edge of annihilation. And as the city lay in ruins, Thorne reveled in the chaos that he had wrought, a twisted grin still etched on his face until the very end.